Up next, my top 5 Initio Parfums Prives, or just Initio. My top 5 best fragrances from this line, which is such a great house. Stay tuned to find out what they are coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to JoelTheNose, and today's topic here from Osme Perfumery in Miami on a very rainy day as we have another cold front coming in. I'm going to tell you my top 5 favorite Initio fragrances, perfumes. Such a wonderful house, French niche house, superior quality. I would say one of the upper echelon niche houses that I have smelled and that I get to be. So, what we're gonna do, I'm actually coming with top 5. I've got one here at honorable mention, all right? Honorable mention, one that's coming out in the last year. I've talked about it a lot. I really love it, and that is Musk Therapy. Musk Therapy, for those of you who haven't smelled it, or maybe you have smelled it, this is one that's got a little bit of a kind of fruity vibe for those that kind of like that herba pura vibe, but this is not as, I would say, feminine or fruity, but it does have a little bit of that vibe. You've got bergamot, mandarin, white, the white sandalwood, you have white musk, you have rose. So there's a lot of musk, a lot of white musk, which gives a little bit of more of a creaminess than say like an herba pura or something like that. I've worn this one a lot over the last probably 8 or 9 months. Heavy in my rotation, coming in honorable mention. Could have easily been in my top 5, but you know, basically number 6. All right, coming now, top 5 is at number 5, Psychedelic Love. All right, Psychedelic Love, guys. It's just got that intense, kind of spicy, that just enveloping, very popular fragrance. I see a lot of people coming and buy it, and if you want to know the notes on this, this is again, you got your bergamot, you've got your rose, myrrh, and patchouli. If you like the sound of that, it's that myrrh gives it that rich, deep, a little bit of a, just again, almost like spicy vibe there with the bergamot at the top. They mix very well. Lovely fragrance, gotta say, number 5. All right, number 4 is in a similar vibe. This is Absolute Aphrodisiac. Absolute Aphrodisiac, again, for those of you, take a look at that. Such a cool top. This is a little bit different fragrance in the sense it's got a white flower and amber vibe that I really enjoy. So it comes off a little bit more floral at the top, but still very unisex, and that amber gives it that just touch of sweetness, and yet almost like, not bourbon, but a little bit of that kind of like, almost, you know, almost a bourbon type feel. And then of course you have your musk at the bottom. And what's interesting, this one also has castoreum at the base, which gives it a sexiness that a lot of fragrances don't have. Castoreum, for those who don't know, it comes from the anal glands of a cat-like animal that lives like in the far east of the world. This is something that is very animalic, but like Initio does with their ouds, it's not overpowering, so this castoreum is not something that is going to scare you or you're even going to necessarily smell. It's there to help round out and actually enhance the other notes in the fragrance. Beautifully done job with this. Very sexy, great fragrance. All right, number 3 is one that's extremely popular, and that is Blessed Baraka. Let me hold it so you can see the name there. Blessed Baraka. Again, this one is one, it's going to start out with the white flower, but then it goes into this kind of creamy sandalwood. And I would say also this vanilla musk combo which gives it a whole different vibe than the other three, or the other three that I've already mentioned. This one, oh boy, it's really hard to pin this one down as far as the main notes that I get from it, but obviously the ones I just read to you, I would say the one that sticks out to me the most on this one is probably the sandalwood. So if you like sandalwood and you kind of like that creaminess, but it's also got a sexiness from the musk and a little bit of an animalic note from that musk, because it's not the white musk that some of the others have used, which is a little bit more tame. Musk can go very animalic, or can go a little bit more of a kind of, I would call, tame, sexy note, depending on whether you like a more animalic sexy or a more kind of soft sexy. This is on the more of the animalic side than the other ones, which were a little bit more tame. All right, now let's go in my number 2, and this is probably one of my top 3 rose fragrances of all. And that is, of course, you probably recognize the name Atomic Rose. Atomic Rose is a beautiful fragrance that just combines, you've got jasmine, you've got obviously the rose, you have pink pepper. This does have bergamot also at the top, but what I love about this fragrance is the rose. To me, this is one of the best, most versatile rose fragrances of any of the niche fragrances that I've worn. When I want to reach for a rose fragrance as a guy, and I want to feel completely cool about it, and I love fragrances, but a lot of guys I know understand, think rose is too feminine. This absolutely is not. This is a beautiful rose fragrance that is wearable by men or women. And that note, again, let me just, what also is in here is, so this is the Bulgarian rose. So I couldn't remember whether it was the damask rose, the Bulgarian, this is the Bulgarian rose. So, all these roses have different smells on them. The Bulgarian rose, to me, when I look at fragrances, is always one that I tend to favor for whatever reason. That Bulgarian rose, to me, just suits well with my nose. I've talked a lot about this before. You got to go with what you like and what you feel. It doesn't necessarily matter what the notes are, it's what it makes you feel. This fragrance makes me feel good. And that leaves me with my number 1. And I've talked about this one a lot recently. It's their newest release, and that is Oud for Happiness. Probably a lot of you are gonna be like, what? I know this is a fragrance that is not for everybody. The other 4 or 5 fragrances that I mentioned probably are gonna be better sellers. They're probably gonna be more popular with mainstream perfumery and fans, and even maybe niche fans. But to me, this is a niche lover's fragrance. You have the kind of almost psychedelic feel of this fragrance. That's what they were going for. When I talked to basically the executives, the top people at Initio about this fragrance when it came out, they are going for this cannabis feel, which is not even mentioned in the notes. If you look at the notes, there's nothing there. Take a look at, by the way, at the top there. You can see they list the cedar, Indian oud, licorice, vanilla. I love cedar. It's one of my favorite fragrance notes. I think of all the fragrances here, the only one that has cedar is this one, so I love that. I love the green element. I wear this one at home all the time when I just want to chill, relax. I put it on when I get home after a long day of work. The vibe is like, feels like you're smoking something without smoking. You just get this very chill vibe to it. Love it. Again, this is a niche lover's fragrance. Probably not going to be the best selling. Probably will be the least best selling of these 5 that I've mentioned, or these 6 total that I've mentioned today. But if you like Initio and you like to go outside your boundaries, you got to try Oud for Happiness. So there you have it. My top 5 with honorable mention, Initio Parfums. Let me know what you guys think. There's so many other ones. Obviously, I didn't put Oud for Greatness, which most people will probably be their top 1 or 2. There's really, could have gone with what else? Oh, by the way, some others that were in the running. I had High Frequency. I had, of course, Side Effect. There's so many good ones. But if you watch on my channel, I like to, not always pick the ones that are going to be necessarily the most popular, but ones that I truly love and I want to recommend to you. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. You can like the video, of course, appreciate that, and you can ring the bell for notifications so that you know when I release new content for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace and love.